I'm very passionate about my field of study in terms of the history of religions for a number of reasons. But the primary one is because of my passion for trying to understand what happens to religions as they transverse various cultural realities. So, for example, what happens to the Christian faith as it moves from east to west, as it becomes the kind of primary faith of the Western tradition within Christianity, Europe and that part of the world. How does it shift and change from its early days in the Middle East? And then what happens to it as it begins to push around the globe? How does Christianity become more Indian in the context of India, more North African in the context of North Africa, more U.S. American as it moves across to the U.S. or the colonies in the U.S. context in the sort of middle part of the second millennium? This stuff is really exciting, and you can go on from there to think about how does Buddhism Chinese as it moves in the Chinese context from India? How does it become Southeast Asian? What's added to it? What's taken away? And that also helps us remove the cultural realities that we think are deeply embedded in the basic doctrines of the tradition, only to discover that these things are far more cultural additions to the faith than they are sort of bedrock and buried in the deepest theological understandings of the church. So we're exploring that line, really, between what we receive from God in terms of Scripture, what each culture adds to the faith, but also on the other side of it, what each culture takes away, because something is lost. And our best understanding of the faith, in my conviction, is when we take the best of all that the world offers to us in terms of that understanding, rather than simply allowing our understanding to be shaped only by our Western biblical, historical, and theological perspectives.